Tradition, on behalf of Ramaravi Women's University, heartily welcome you all to today's storytelling session. We have our young guest, Konstantina Vasiliadou.
What? Crimson Roses and Hidden Desire, the book name. And you can say literary prodigy. So we should encourage her by giving a big, huge round of applause. So I reviewed the book and I'm just going to read out my review on her book. Her mother is Odia, so I'm going to just read out whatever my review is. Crimson Roses and Hidden Desire is a light-hearted narrative bringing together the teenage experience of discussing with her. She portrays herself as Skye, as Eleonora, Alex, and Aisha is the main character, and Riley. The author seeks to explore the nuances of childhood romance expressed often through matured relationships. For endeavor, thank you very much for being here. Thank you everybody. Thank you Lopa and her twin sister, Cleoniki. Overview of the beautiful book. Now I would like to invite Professor Chandicharan Rath sir.
Samastan Kumar, Namaskar. Do you follow? Namaskar.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah, okay. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Resource person of the day, most precious gem we can say, a 15-year-old Sucheta Priyavadini, Dr. Dilip Kumar BC, Deputy Registrar Establishment, of the dais, Dr. Lopamudra, I don't know her name, Junior Lopamudra I can call. Yeah. Is a subject which shapes human life, human civilization, our society. I'll just give you two examples. In our Indian history, we all know this Ramayana Mahabharata, or we can say Dwapar and Tretaya, Ram Juk, Krishna Juk. All of us know, during Tretaya we had Ram, we had Ravan. During Dwapar we had Krishna, Kans. If you see these stories, what do you understand? What do you guess? What do you feel? What do you gain? It reflects two characters. In today's scenario, we say one is the hero character, other one is the villain character. From story, we understand this. And we know in our Indian history, we have the belief that even a pregnant woman reads stories and that character reflects and plants, and today we ended with mammals like human beings. So story is what I can say, I don't say it is a topic, I say it's a subject always. And as much as you analyze all these things, we end with what we can say, a better choice.
Thank you so much, sir. Your stories and words have set a positive tone for today's event. I would request her to now start the storytelling session.
Yes, everyone. Mona Konstantina Vasiliadou. My Odia is not that good, So I'll speak a bit Hindi, a bit English, and I hope you bear with me. Let me start by, everybody gave my introduction over here. I am half Greek, half Indian. My mother is Indian, Odia to be exact, and my father is Greek. So writing this book has been a massive journey for me. It has been hard at some point, but mostly above everything, if I could describe one feeling that I felt through all of this, it's consoling. It consoled me, and the way my book, my characters consoled me, that's the way I want my book to console others. Let me begin with, I don't want to sit or stand, I want to walk around, feel more connected to you while I speak this, and I promise it won't be tiring, it will be quick and easy. So, growing up, I grew up listening to Mahabharata, Ramayana, Krishna, and then we all know about Greek mythology, right? Zeus and stuff like that. And I love storytelling. Since I was a young child, I used to make small skits. I even do theater till now. I used to write skits, write a book, but like short stories that we all do when we were young. I got into poem writing recently, which has also been consoling. I believe writing was a way I could talk about my emotions and I could share them with others. I've never been a speaker, so whenever I have a problem, because we're teenagers, we're young adults, we do get awkward, we feel a lot of things, we get a lot of emotions, and it's hard dealing with them, let's face it, because teen mental health is a subject that comes up a lot these days. We go through growing up, we start looking at the real world. We're not adults yet, but we're not children. So with my book, I wanted to talk about this teen mental health, all the aspects, all the problems that a teenager might face when they are at this particular age. All of my characters are a reflection of people like us, people like you, people like me. Let me begin with, my story is not fictional. Okay, maybe the characters are fictional. Aisha, Ryle, Sky do not exist. Okay, maybe some parts of the story didn't actually happen. But also maybe we just don't know. When you read my book, you might find yourself in my characters. You might find your siblings in my characters, your friends in my characters, even your own parents in my characters. Because my book is a reflection of real life. It's no sugarcoating. It doesn't say that happiness is everywhere and the end is always good, because that's how life is. Life is filled with lots of problems, unhappy memories, and so many things that upset us. And there's nothing we can do about it. So through my book, I wanted to give this message of acceptance, that no matter what mistakes we make, no matter what things we go through, above everything, our top priority should be loving and accepting ourselves. And I can come up here and I can tell you, love yourself and accept yourself. And I know how hard it might be. I mean, after so much thinking, writing, I've done so many things in my life. Even now, I struggle to love myself. I struggle to accept myself, because we are humans too and we are not perfect. And loving yourself is a very specific term that you might feel sometimes and you might not. And that's the way life is. So my book is a reflection of what mental things, how a teenager's brain processes all of this, all rejection, feeling lonely, having issues with our parents. So I spoke a lot about my book. Let me get into my characters. My first protagonist is Aisha. Aisha is a girl that has made a mistake in the past. A mistake that she cannot accept. We're humans, okay? We all make mistakes. I made a mistake at some point. You made a mistake at some point. Everyone makes mistakes at some point. But the thing that's most important over here is to learn how to get over that mistake. Is above everything to forgive ourselves for making that mistake. Because a lot of times when we make mistakes, the person that suffers the most is us. So Aisha is a person who struggles with forgiving herself. She doesn't have friends like I didn't at some point. It's how I started to write this book. It was December of 2022. I had moved to Greece and I was going through a really tough time. I didn't have friends. I didn't talk to a lot of people. I didn't talk to my family. I wasn't used to talking about the way I felt, right? So I wanted to find a way, a person that I could console myself, a way that I would feel like I'm not alone. So what was better than making up my own characters and making them people that I could look up to, people with flaws, because people that you look look up to, people that I look up to, we all have flaws, and that's the way we are. Going on to my second protagonist, we have Ryle, a guy that comes from a very abusive household, abused by his drunk dad, and his mom's not there anymore. Harsh reality, but that's the way life is. People are bad, and sometimes people close to us are bad. Our family members are bad, our friends are bad, and we never know whom to protect ourselves from. And Ryle is a boy that's rejected by everyone, doesn't find solace, and every time he finds a friend or someone to confide in, he loses it. Because a lot of times that's what happens. We make friends, we get close to them, and we end up losing them. And that's a part of life. Losing friends, losing people is a part of life. Now the trick over here is to accept that we lost those people, and I'm not invalidating anyone's emotions. Emotions are validated, and we can only get through them if we accept the way we feel. Protagonist number 3 is Sky. Sky is a boy that doesn't like the way he is. He has perfect grades, okay. The perfect picture guy, perfect grades, perfect family, everybody likes him, blah, blah, blah. But beneath all of that, who is he? Who does he think he is? Can he accept himself for what he is? Can he do that? Or does he mask it with a fake scenario and a fake face that everything's good and everything's perfect? That's the kind of person he is. A person that can't accept himself. A person that hides the way he feels because people will judge him. People will always judge us no matter what we do. And being a woman, most of us are women over here, people will always look out to harm us, hurt us, and they think we're sensitive and they think we're weak. And just being 15 years old, I've faced so many hardships in my life just for being a girl, just for being a woman. And people will always judge you, okay, वो ये नहीं करती, वो नहीं करती है, अच्छा इतना ये क्यों करती है, but वो क्यों नहीं करती है? Like people will always be at the back of your head pressurizing you and forcing you to do stuff that you don't want to do. And that's where you need to draw the line and say, I won't be judged by anyone, and the only persons whose judgment actually matters is yourself. The only person that should think highly of you is yourself and no one else. And that's something that Sky needs to admit, that no matter who we are, above everything we need to love and accept ourselves. And that's what my book talks about. It's about 3 teenagers going through difficulties in life and learning how to get over them. And I really like this line in my book that says, the future, we can't look into it. As they say, the future is a mystery. We never know what might happen. And I personally believe that that's the beauty of it. We will never know what can happen in the future. We don't have any idea. And that's what makes it so romantic. You know, being an author, being a poet, we tend to romanticize everything and we tend to overreact. But I like it because it means that I can feel deeply. And it's okay to feel deeply. Being women, we overreact on stuff, and we get emotional over stuff, and that's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty on personally being a woman, that you feel so much, and we should embrace it. It's not something bad. And I always say, the same strength and the same hope that I had in me, and I wrote this book, is something that all of us over here have, and something all of us here should be proud of having. We depend on ourselves, and above everyone, the only person who will forever stay in your life, trust me for this, is yourself. Everyone else will go, leave. You know, my parents support me a lot. For this book, my parents supported me in each side. Both my mom and my dad, they always encouraged me, and I was so grateful. But my father always used to tell me, I can hold your hand and walk the road, but I can't walk the road for you. We need to walk our road for ourselves, and we need to decide how we want our life to be. We shouldn't think of judgments and people. And being a teenager, it's exhausting. Being in this sensitive age, it's tiring because we don't know about life. We haven't stepped into the real world, as adults like to say, but we're also not kids anymore. So everybody expects us to act a certain way that possibly we can't act. And that's okay, and that's the beauty of being in this age. I believe being a teenager, it's the beauty of not knowing what's gonna happen. or not knowing how I'm going to feel. A lot of times I sit and I feel sad, and I feel sad over mere things. अच्छा उसने मुझसे बात नहीं की, क्यों बात नहीं की, मैं बुरी हूँ क्या, मैंने कुछ किया क्या, मैं सोचती हूँ बैठ के. And then I feel so grateful that the only problem in my life is that somebody did not talk to me. And that's the beauty of things. Or when I lose a friend and I cry over that, that's the beauty of it, because life is filled with unhappy and happy moments. And that's the way life is, whether we like it or not. One particular line that I keep repeating in my book, it's that things changed. Whether we're sad, depressed, or even happy, things change. It's the way life goes. Nothing in this world stays stagnant. Nothing. It's like a flowing river. I imagine life as a flowing river. It keeps on going. बीच में कितने भी पत्थर आ जाए, कितने भी चीजें आ जाए, उसको बहना ही है. And life does go on. It's the way life is. So I won't talk a lot. I won't tire you. I would like to read the first chapter of my book for you guys, and I promise to make it quick. Start. Everyone goes through dark times, don't they? That doesn't mean that life has lost its spark, does it? Sometimes the only thing we keep in mind is it will get better, and we try to move on. In a big city where everyone goes unnoticed, lived an invisible girl, unnoticed even by the smallest of creatures. She had her days, but time changes everyone, doesn't it? Another tiring day, isn't it, was the first thing Aisha thought as she opened her eyes in the morning. She got up and got ready for school. She thought it was just going to be an ordinary day, but little did she know. Good morning, Mom, Aisha greeted as she went downstairs. Finally, she's up. Aisha's mom rolled her eyes. Darling, I hope you are better. Are your studies going well? I'm worried about you. You never really talk to anyone. You know I'm here for you, right? Exclaimed Aisha's mother all at once. After all, she was concerned for her daughter. Aisha was on her way to school. She didn't want to expect anything from the day. She walked into her class and felt as if everyone was judging her. She felt her tears fill up her eyes. You're okay, everything's gonna be okay. She tried to calm herself, but nothing worked. She went out of the classroom. She ran straight to the bathroom and burst out sobbing. She stared in the mirror, seeing tears roll down one after the other. 2 years had passed, and she still couldn't get over it. 2 years have passed and I'm still sobbing, crying like a damn baby. Oh God, how much I hate it. When is everything going to be better? When, huh? She kept sobbing, invested in her monologue. She gathered herself up and went to class. The day was normal. She was in her room. Okay, give me 2 minutes. She was in her room, and she was in her own world, and during the break, she walked around alone in the hopes of finally someone approaching her. Class ended, and she thought to herself, it's time I go talk to the coach. Aisha was trying to get into the school's football team and had been thinking about it for a long time. Walking to the coach's office, she was already thinking about going to championships with her team. She was thinking about making friends, going on trips, and so much more. It automatically made her smile. After a long time, she was walking with hope in her eyes. She smiled and it felt like a century had passed since she had last smiled. I'm here to speak to the coach, she asked the front lady at the front office with a bright smile on her face. Why, darling? Any matter to discuss? She wondered. I want to join the football team, Aisha replied with eyes gleaming with glee. Sure, the lady said, got up from her desk and led Aisha inside. Sir, I have someone who wants to join the football team, she said and smiled. Who's the new guy? Exclaimed the coach, about to get the biggest shock of his life. The receptionist chuckled. It's not a guy, but a girl. Hello sir, I'm Aisha, here to join the football team, Aisha said immediately, not giving the coach time to react. She? Is this some kind of joke? You guys are kidding me, right? The coach was shocked. Understandable, as it was the first time he had seen a girl interested in football. Aisha was kind of hurt, a bit offended, and a long pause continued. Come with me, the coach sighed and said, breaking the endless silence. The receptionist gave Aisha a warm smile and left. The coach led Aisha to a room full of sports equipment and told her to take some stuff and go outside. So she did. And while going outside, she felt excited. She wanted to prove to the coach that she was also worthy. And so the training started. Aisha ran here and there and did exactly as she was told to. Run faster, run, go get the ball, yelled the coach. Aisha ran and did her best. A little secret was that it was her first time being trained. She was new to this, but she still gave her best. At the end of the day, it's all about trying, isn't it? The training was for 1.5 hours. The time had finally ended as Aisha was soaked in sweat. "You did good for a newbie," he said coldly. If truth be told, Aisha wasn't quite the best. Whether such a jolly person, but had changed with time. She tried studying, but her focus was on a million other things. She kept her books aside and once again played numb, thinking about the past. Some things are never forgotten, no matter how much time passes. Sometimes, even when you have a good day, thinking takes over you. Sometimes, all you wish is to forget. She closed her eyes while slowly drifting to sleep. And that's my first chapter.
Thank you so much, Konstantina, for sharing your story so beautifully with us.
How to explore variety of people.
I believe when you're a teenager, it's built in you that everything takes out a reaction for you, whether it's an exam, whether it's... Hi!
So I was read the basic character story and I knew from the very first I read the paper and I really like how they're exploring things.
Yeah.
And the things that the sound that a teenager can understand the nature better.
Exactly.
So I do write books, I do content writing, graphic designing, and also I take stories.
That's so good!
I write poetry, haikus, novels, and everything. And I have been a part of many anthologies that have compiled one. So yeah, right now I'm also writing a novel. So
I hope to see it soon, oh my god.
thank you. So you're very inspired today, and I've been writing it for a year.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask that sometimes it happens that you don't feel like writing for days.
Oh my god, yes.
So how do you manage with that? Like with this consistency, you publish your book within 2 years.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned that you started writing it until somewhere 2022 and this is September 2024 and so impressed that you completed it so fast. And I've been literally writing like how do you maintain the consistency?
A writer's block is something that all of us get, and it's days where you can't write and you don't know and you don't get any idea, and even if you do get an idea, you just can't put it into words. And then something that helped me was how I started this book. Whenever I feel like I don't want to write, I don't write, but the moment I even have like a slight chalo kar leti hu, koi baat nahi, something that helps me is writing 1 line or 2 lines or like a paragraph, and then my mind always goes back there and I'm like, I can't leave, and I believe my characters are my children, and like I can't leave my children without a future. What's happening to them? I'm writing their story, like they're a part of me. So writing 2 lines and just starting it and then just leave it, and then your mind on its own, it will go back to it and you'll be like, oh my god, I need to write, and just 2 words, 2-3 words, you'll go back to it.
Thank you so much. And
It's not
please
bad.
keep smiling like that. I really like your confidence, how you address your character.
So my kid usually will be asking about stories, and I have already ended up storing all the stories. So now I have started asking him to tell a story. So he usually tells stories about toy cars, about horror games. Now he has started after watching few of the videos, particularly about Alex, about Ryle, about Alyssa's. So I was very much thinking the confidence. She has been a mother who has inculcated this particular personality in her. She is so much confident, and the way she is presenting. So on behalf of Ramadevi University and particularly Ramadevi University International Office, with the team presented partly about her story about this particular book that I have got. Of course, madams and others have got. So I'll definitely so you'll be learning a little bit, and I would like to thank all the faculties from the universities, the students, Professor Chandicharan Raj, Chairperson PG Council, who was talking about the Mahabharata stories, about evolution of life. It was really inspiring, and we should thank Konstantina.
Είχα φυτέψει μια πορτοκαλιά που την εζήλευω όλη γειτονιά, που την εζήλευω That's it.